What is going on, guys? I am Happy,
I'm Taylor.
and we are the IMDBUDS. Guys, we're going to watch some movies. We're going to tell you our take on them. We're going to drop it once a month, and
We'll take turns recommending movies that we watch for like a book club, Just we're gonna talk about people in the movies, other stuff they've been in, just stuff like that, movie stuff.
yeah, movie stuff. Like deep dive. Scratch an itch that you are yearning for, because we're going to do some deep dives on maybe some obscure movies. This episode, we are going to be doing something that I absolutely love. I love this movie. I found it on Netflix, just random, just clicking through, and it came up as a suggested, hey, you may like this, because I do like the genre that it's making fun of.
Yes.
And this is...
Yeah. It's even people who are not like film buffs, they just want to watch, like my wife. It's a movie that she even appreciates and she's told other people about. It's got something in it for everybody.
Tucker
and Dale versus Evil.
Yeah. It's actually rated pretty high for a movie that I think that was missed by the mainstream when it first came out.
Yeah. I don't think it had a theatrical release that I know of.
Yeah.
I think it was it might have been before, like, a lot of the streaming services were doing like
Mm-hmm.
direct feature length releases, like Netflix I think started that, but I think this was before that.
It was. I think it did have DVD releases, because there's a couple of things on the DVD that are DVD release only.
We should give everybody like a sort of an idea of what it's about if they've never seen it or heard of it.
Oh yeah.
But it's I've never seen this happen before. I've never seen this kind of movie before, where it takes a lot of horror movie tropes of, especially like sort of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, where there's sort of hillbillies that are killing young, college kids and stuff. It takes a lot of those tropes and sort of turns them on their head, where it shows you the perspective of young college kids, but also the perspective of the so-called hillbillies, who seem just like guys who had bought a rundown cabin in the woods for a vacation home. They're trying to fix it up.
Just the
So it's a
casual
comedy.
guys.
Yeah, it's a comedy horror that shows you sort of what the hillbilly murderers, who aren't really hillbilly murderers, they're just people, and the college kids who think they are hillbilly murderers.
Yeah, it's they give a lighthearted kick at all of those tropes, like the ditzy blonde, but she's not really ditzy. But then they have like the jock, but he turns out to be the psycho. It's like there's so many layers that they do right. Like all the way to the casting, it's amazing.
Yeah, good, great. Tucker and Dale especially, great casting on that, and the blonde, like, girl next door type of person, great casting there too.
Katrina Baldwin as
Yes.
Allison. Yeah.
Yeah. Allison, Allie is her nickname in the movie.
Yeah, Allie.
Tyler Labine plays Dale. Alan Tudyk plays Tucker, and Alan Tudyk he's one of my favorite, like, character actors. He's usually in like a comedic role. A lot of people recognize him from Firefly or A Knight's Tale.
Yep,
that was the first things I ever saw him in.
Yes, I was about to say that. Yes, exactly. That was the first movie that I saw him in, and ever since that role, if there's a movie that has him in it, I try my best to see it.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, just because of his acting style. And I think both of them, Alan and Tyler, made casual perfect.
They didn't overdo it. It was just perfect.
Yeah, it could have been the like overdone hillbilly style trope that we all know about, but no, it was just two average guys
Yeah.
that have a house in the woods now.
And they have like personality problems, just like regular people have. I mean, Dale struggles with like sort of self-awareness and confidence and stuff, and Tucker is trying to like build him up, and that's like a kind of a theme throughout the entire movie. And Allison, the Allison character, sort of brings Dale out of his shell and sort of helps him realize his potential and stuff like that. Makes him more or less self-conscious, more self-aware.
Yeah. She definitely plays as like the nurturer, kind of like psychologist.
Yeah, definitely. And she said like at one point in the movie that she like something that she was studying in school. Like Dale asked her what she was studying in the school, and she says that it was communication, I think, or psychology. But no, it was psychology, but like a specialization in and communication.
Yeah,
because a lot of the world's problems were derived from bad communication, which is kind of what this movie is all about. All of the college kids think Tucker and Dale are killers, and they've kidnapped Allison, the Allison character.
Yeah. This movie plays a lot onto like just miscommunication.
They do have Tucker and Dale, even though they don't. I don't think they're hillbillies. They just bought a vacation home, and they kind of talk like hillbillies sometimes. Like, one of my favorite parts in the movie is when in the very beginning, when Tucker and Dale are driving in the truck and they're coming back from like a convenience store or whatever. Alan Tudyk is drinking a beer. He drops it like on the floorboard between his legs, and Dale is sort of with his head in Tucker's lap, trying to retrieve the beer because it's spilling all over the place, and his shirt comes off and stuff. But during that whole struggle, Tucker says, or Dale says that it's stuck, and Tucker says, "Well, unstuck it then." And that's unstuck it then. I'm gonna try to work that into my vocabulary. I'm gonna try to say that whenever I can now.
That's gonna be a part of the Taylor lexicon. That's awesome.
Yeah, unstuck it then.
Unstuck it then.
I'm just gonna listen for when anyone says it's stuck. I'm gonna try to remember
You're just gonna
to
drop
say
it. Unstuck it then. Yeah, it's gonna go on a t-shirt. So from the very beginning, they are just how they're introduced to the college kids, I think is perfect, because they're innocently going up to buy supplies and stock up their summer home, home in the woods. And these college kids are just, they're kind of doing the same thing. A little bit more nefarious, because they got some drugs and they're ready to party. But they're also going to go in and stock up. Yeah. And it's great how they meet, because it's immediately like you see the tension.
Before they, like on the way to that sort of backwoods corner store, like convenience store, like stop and go sort of thing. These 6 college kids are in an SUV going somewhere to go camping. They got booze and tents and stuff like that. So they're getting passed by an old rundown truck, and they look out the window as they're getting passed, and Tucker and Dale just sort of stare blankly at them.
That's right.
And it's the trope of like this scary hillbilly out in the middle of nowhere, like staring you down as they're driving along the highway. And they, Tucker and Dale get to this stop and go before the college kids do, but the college kids are immediately creeped out at pretty much everything that's going on in the stop and go. Nothing nefarious is happening. It's just not a city convenience store. They've got like, nails and like hardware store shit along with, regular convenience store stuff.
Yeah.
And the Allison character moves something off of a shelf, and Dale is on the other side of the shelf eating out of a big giant jar of pickled boiled eggs. And she's immediately like freaked out that this guy was staring at her through the shelves. That was their initial impression.
Yeah. It was it was more of a shock and a stutter, because
Yeah.
they were both kind of taken aback by the other. Yeah. It just how Dale went over there with that sickle. Like, why
Yeah.
did
That
he
was
do
the
that?
first. Yeah, that was the first instance of Tucker trying to talk up Dale
Oh, that's right.
and tell him. Dale was talking about how attractive these girls were, and Tucker was like, "Well, just go over and talk to them. Just be yourself. There's nothing wrong with you. Just go over and talk to them." And he goes over there. He's holding a giant like sickle, like the figure of death would hold.
It's like from
He
Children of the
just put
Corn.
he
Yeah.
just put down his 6-pound jar of pickled eggs, and he's wearing a hat that says "Giver," like GIV
It's
apostrophe
for
ER is
ER,
how I think
giver.
they spelled it. Giver. So he's nervous as he approaches, and he tries to like talk him up, like, "You guys going camping?" And then he just starts laughing maniacally. So immediately they're spooked, and the main like leader of the 6 college kids. His name is Chad. Of course,
Mhm.
I think this predates the
Before,
Chad thing.
before the
Yeah.
Chad trope. Yeah.
But his name is Chad, and he's like, "Hey, just back off," stuff like that. And Dale's like, What are you talking about? I'm just trying. Okay, okay." And he backs off. And that was, just one of the instances of Dale not being as confident as he should be about himself, and I guess coming off a little strange in the process.
Yeah. It was like a perfect storm for that interaction, because everything that could go wrong did go wrong.
Yeah.
It was just awkward, and then he just turns around, and it's just like,
Yeah. He goes back to Tucker, and he says, "I told you, Tucker, I'm a zero with the ladies. They hate my face."
nice.
Which is just, I don't know. This is a funny childlikeness of Dale that is
He's got that
charming and
innocence.
endearing.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
got that innocence. It's perfect, and he plays it off so well.
Yes,
It's
he does.
yeah.
So the guy who plays Dale, Tyler Labine, I've seen him in a lot of stuff before. I know there's some TV show that it probably. I know he's been in like an episode of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia here, but there was something that I've seen him in that it was a TV show I know, and I think he was like one of the main characters in it, but I couldn't find it when I was looking earlier.
Rapture. Wow, he's been in a lot of stuff. Anyway,
But Alan Tudyk. So recently, I've watched him in a show on. I can't remember what it's on, but Resident Alien, where he plays an alien who has come to Earth and in a small town in Colorado, and he's killed this doctor. He's got to pretend that he's this doctor, but there's this one kid in town who can see that he's an alien whenever nobody else can, really.
Mhm.
And it's a really good show. A lot of great people are in it. A lot of Native Americans are in it, and like one of them, Gary Farmer. He's one of my favorite actors. He was in my favorite movie ever, Dead Man. He's a Native American actor, but he played a character called Nobody in that. But Resident Alien's great show.
Yeah.
Alan Tudyk, a lot of other great people. Alice Wetterlund,
Yeah.
a lot of people.
Just looks like an amazing cast.
Yeah, I think I've only seen the first season of that. I think it has 26 episodes. Jeez.
Wow.
Oh, it's got 3 seasons now. Man, I got a lot of catching up to do.
You're slacking.
Yeah, but Alan Tudyk has also been in like a lot of Disney movies. Have him just voicing an animal that doesn't talk, that just makes noises. Like in Moana, he was like a chicken. In Zootopia, well, he was an animal with a voice in Zootopia. But there's something else, another Disney thing. Yeah, Valentino. He's in the new Disney film Wish as a character, probably an animal in the voice. I haven't seen this, but there is at least two other Disney movies where he plays a chicken or he plays an animal that doesn't say anything, just makes noise. Oh, a toucan, and Encanto.
Just something that just makes noise.
Yeah, like I don't know what it is about his. I mean, he does a lot of voice stuff, but he's also a great comedic actor.
Yeah, I again, yeah, anything that I see him in or a project that I hear him, taking part in, I try my best to see it. He actually got me into Firefly because I didn't see Firefly before I saw him.
Yeah, I didn't see Firefly until like years after it had been canceled. It aired and got canceled, and they had a movie and stuff. But that was Firefly. Andrew Ready loves Firefly.
Yeah, that was a good one. I'm glad they at least made a movie out of it, but that's a whole nother topic.
And also,
yeah,
Katrina Bowden, like it was driving me crazy when I was watching the movie again, because it'd been a little while since I'd seen it.
Mm-hmm.
I knew I'd seen her in something else. I just couldn't remember what it was. She played Siri in 30 Rock.
Yeah, I just saw that as I clicked on her creds. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow, 2 episodes.
Totally different character. Like I did see Rich Girl that just kind of didn't need to be an intern at 30 Rockefeller Center, but was. Like it totally, while I'm watching Tucker and Dale, I don't see this character.
Yeah.
Because she's just a totally different character,
Yeah.
But she did really well.
Yeah. It shows you how broad her spectrum is with just her acting.
Yeah. Nobody else in this movie I recognize from anything else.
Yeah, I think everyone else was kind of like a one shot. I think they blew their wad with maybe their top 4 people, or at least top 2.
Yeah.
I don't know
what the budget was for this, but it must have been pretty low. It didn't need to be high.
I wonder how much was it. It probably says somewhere.
I would guess 10 million. Yeah. Let's see if we can find out. Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
Oh, there's going to be a 2? Oh, why it won't happen. No, why it won't happen. It's doo-doo.
Wikipedia will have it. Production. $5 million was the budget.
Wow.
So it made back, it at least made more than its budget, 5.5 million was the box office. And I'm sure it's gotten a lot more views on streaming services and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it was very low budget, very, no, I think it was all practical effects. I don't think there was any CG. They probably had a bigger, makeup budget than any CG.
Right. I think you are correct. I think all the effects were practical. Going back to the movie side of the plot, how I guess the plot really turns upside down is when Dale and Tucker go out. It's like a nighttime scene. But there's 2 kind of worlds happening right now. So the chaos hasn't collided yet. So everyone's still happy. So Dale and Tucker are out fishing. It's dark. They're just kind of off in the mist. They're doing their thing. And the college kids are around a campfire, but they're telling ghost stories. Yeah.
And Chad says something about, it's sort of the typical ghost story thing, like in these very woods 20 years ago, something horrible happened, stuff like that. But Tucker and Dale, they're just taking a break from fixing up their vacation house, and they just bought this rundown cabin, and they're going to take a cooler of beers and go fishing on the lake or in the creek or something. But then the college kids, after they tell some spooky stories and have a few drinks, they're like, "Oh, let's go skinny dipping." So they're going skinny dipping the same watering hole or whatever that Tucker and Dale are fishing in.
Yeah.
So you wanna take it from here?
Yeah. So Tucker and Dale get into it's kind of a pivotal point, and I guess the big understanding between the relationship, because they're just out there fishing, they're kind of just just talking back and forth, and they realize, that right there, exactly. They realize that there is, or Dale realizes that there's only one beer left, he calls it, and no, it's a conversation about how Dale does not assert himself enough, and he's just he just needs to stand up for himself more, and he just needs to put himself out there more. And it's the best part, because he goes to grab the last beer and Tucker just whap, just without any breath, and he's like, "I thought you told me to be more assertive," and he's like, "Not with the beer."
Yeah.
It's great, and so that relationship is established. Who is who in that relationship, and then I think Dale notices Allie on top of a rock off to the side, and he kind of like taps Tucker to look at it or whatever. And while they do that, I believe one of them like makes some noise and scares Allie, and then she falls into the water.
I think Dale like gasps, and Allie
gasps. And she's falls over.
She's like getting undressed, and she thinks they're spying on her or whatever. And she falls and like hits her head, I guess, because she doesn't come up from the water.
Yeah. So they take her. She gets taken because
they rescue her because they notice that she hasn't come up.
Right.
So they paddle the boat over there, drag her into the boat.
And actually, I think in the midst of them picking them up, the college kids hear that Allie falls, and they all run away. And this is the reason why Dale and Tucker go and have to rescue Allie, because all the other people ran away because they heard Allie screaming. Great bunch of friends.
As they're pulling her into the boat, the kids are running away, and they're trying to get their attention, like, "Hey, we got your friend!"
Yeah, it's great.
and the college kids take that as like a threat, like, "Hey, we got your friend. We're getting you next."
Yeah.
So they keep running, and they have to take. They didn't know what else to do with Allie, so they take her to the cabin they're fixing up.
Yeah, it's I think the introduction of the cabin and Allie is great with the dog. Jangles.
Yeah, that's a great scene. Mr. Jangles or something. Yeah,
Mr.
something
Jangles,
like that.
Jangles. I don't know. The dog doesn't have credits. I'm upset. Oh, it's Weezer Jangers as the dog. It is.
Jangers.
The dog
okay.
does have credits. Wow. Never mind. That dog was great. One-eyed bully dog. You gotta love it. And I love the fact that its actual name was Weezer. And it drooled a lot.
That is a good dog name, yeah.
Yeah.
One thing we forgot to mention, when Tucker and Dale first get to the cabin after going to the convenience store, I think it's the first time they've been there, and they open the door. It's a rundown cabin, and it's got a lot of problems they got to fix up. But there's a lot of strange stuff. There's like wind chimes made out of bones in there. There's newspaper clippings on
Right.
a wall about teen slayings, investigations, a body found in a creek. But then there's one that Tucker and Dale focus on. That's Chubby's Chili Dog Depot. Buy 3, get 2 free, no expiration
date. Yes, that's the
that's
focus
the one
point.
they're enthused about.
Yeah. None of the
They don't
missing
even seem to
persons.
notice. Yeah.
Or like the crazy, the crazy shit that's on the wall, or just like the stuff that's hanging around. Yeah. That's a good point.
Anything, like if the college kids went there, they would be disturbed by the whole thing. They wouldn't even stay there. They'd just turn around and walk out.
Yeah.
But Tucker and Dale, they just don't seem to. They notice the stuff, but it doesn't occur to them that it's creepy in any way, or maybe indicative of like a murderer from 20 years ago or whatever.
Yeah, it kind of pulls the curtain back a little bit of like how they live, because they go into it and they're like, look at all this opportunity. And it's like, somebody probably died here, man.
And they see like some board games. They're like, hey, it's my favorite game.
Yeah. And it's like, it's super sketch. Yeah. So that's
where Allie wakes up the next morning after Tucker and Dale bring her to that cabin.
Yeah. Which when they kind of like show her, it looks like one of them may have had to make clothes for her. I don't know how that happened, but
I think Dale said he didn't have any girly clothes.
Yeah, so he had like this.
She's in like big guy clothes, but later on she'll have turned down the waistband and stuff, so it looks like something a college girl would wear.
Yeah, it looks a little suspect, but it's funny how they have her head wrapped and everything, and he comes out. Who is it? Dale comes out.
Dale.
Yeah, Dale comes out and brings waffles. And she's just kind of coming to, and so she's not really understanding what the hell's going on. So she's very confused, and she's like, no, and he's like, oh, of course she doesn't like waffles.
Yeah.
He goes back.
He's so innocent and pure that he doesn't know why she's freaked out at the sight of him, and he thinks it's the waffles, which is another endearing, aspect of Dale's character. He immediately thinks, oh no, she doesn't like waffles, I'll go make something else, but she's just kind of freaked out that she's woken up in this strange, cabin with 2 strange men.
Yeah, and it's like, what happened? Where are my clothes? What's going on? And there's this, this innocent dude that's just trying to feed her. Yeah, and then I think that's when they get to playing the Trivial Pursuit.
Yeah, well, they don't say it's Trivial Pursuit, but some trivia game. It's very, very much like Trivial Pursuit, but Trivial Pursuit didn't pay for product placement, so
it's a trivia game with
another one of my favorite lines just before they start playing board games is Dale says, Tucker and I brung you here last night. There's something that I don't think I could deliver it the way that Dale delivers it. It's the same with Tucker doing the unstuck it line, but I don't know, just Tucker and I brung you here last night. I love that line, and the way that Tyler, what's his name, delivers it, which it just seemed very sweet and innocent and naive, sort of. But I think the Allie character was immediately disarmed by that. She immediately thought, okay, I think I might be safe here.
Yeah, definitely. Because as soon as that line's given, you kind of see the, she's like, oh, okay, this isn't as bad as it could be. And
so then they start playing this Trivial Pursuit like board game, and it turns out Dale's really good at it. He retains
shit.
Yeah, he's got a good memory, and everything that it seems like everything that he takes in, he remembers.
Yeah, which
And,
is like a theme. Strangely enough, they dropped that just in case you forgot that the first time they say it, because he said it like earlier. I thought he said it in the truck or something.
Yeah, Tucker did say something about how Dale remembers, because Dale thinks he's stupid,
Yep.
and Tucker was trying to tell him, "You're not stupid," you know. But Dale is unconvinced. But I think maybe playing the board game with Allie, maybe he's getting a little more confident about that, because she's very impressed with how much he knows about the game.
Yeah, that's true. And he knows that he retains all that information, so that is an immediate win for his character and everything. So while that's happening, Tucker's in the back chopping up logs with a huge wood chipper. And the college kids are freaking out. They're like in another part of the woods, freaking out, trying to call people. Chad breaks one of their phones. It's oh goodness, the scene is hysteria. It's great.
Yes. Chad. First off, Chad. This is like the first time he seems. Well, probably not the first time. I think the first time he seems sort of strangely obsessed with like woods murdering and stuff and hillbillies is when he was telling the scary story at the campsite. But this is like the first real inkling that this guy, he's got bad ideas or something. Yeah, something's not right. Yeah. But he's trying to. They're like snooping around like the property where the cabin is. And Tucker there's a wood chipper. He's got a chainsaw. There's a big down tree. He's, cutting up this tree to put in the wood chipper. And, he's got a chainsaw. He's chopping into this tree, and it's sort of hollow in one area. And you see inside the tree, and there's a big wasp nest. So the college kids at the same time are trying to convince, one of them to approach the house and see what's going on, or try to see if he sees Allie or something like that. So as this kid is creeping up, Tucker cuts into this wasp nest, and immediately he's got the chainsaw like up in the air, like waving it around and yelling and stuff. He doesn't notice these college kids, but the college kids thinks, oh, he's coming after us with a chainsaw. So they go running through the woods. Tucker is just running because there's wasps. And
he's getting stung.
At one point he gets like side by side with Mitchell, and this college kid that was, snooping around, and he looks over at him like, "Why are you running?"
Yeah, it's like, what?
And the college kid looks over at Tucker, and he's kind of confused as to why the guy's running beside him and not like behind him and like chopping him up with a chainsaw. And in that confusion, he impales himself on a sharp, branch, from a tree, another fallen tree.
Just runs right into it. Ugh.
Yeah. So he's dying. A wasp lands on his nose, and it seems like you can kind of see on his face, oh, this is all a big misunderstanding, before he just dies.
Yeah, it's and like that.
That is the first sort of horror trope misunderstanding incident in this movie, and they just get more crazy from here.
Yeah, the first time I saw that one, I laughed out loud. Yeah. I thought that was so funny, because it's like this clear, like every horror movie has this moment of just, murderer and innocent together, but they're both innocent.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great to see that come into like such a weird left turn. It's like a squirrel grabbed the steering wheel on that one and just went boop.
Yeah. It's I don't know how many people worked on the screenplay for this, but it shows like an immense understanding of horror movies and how they work, and the the common things that you see in them, and how they could be misconstrued easily if if you were in this sort of situation and you had seen a lot of horror movies and you were expecting horror movie like shit to happen when you go camping in the backwoods.
Yeah, this movie. If you're not I guess a well versed horror watcher, this movie you may miss some elements, but I think classically it touches all of the tropes up to this point. From like I guess teens, the college kids running in the woods aimlessly, but and like this guy screaming with a chainsaw up in the air. It's knowing like each side of that is just massively hilarious. Just seeing it. It's just beautiful how they wrote that out.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's great. Sorry.
There are a number of other incidents like that one. Like the next one is one of the college kids trying to, I guess, tackle Tucker, but he ends up just jumping headfirst into the wood chipper.
I liked his weapon. It was like a Swiss Army knife.
Oh yeah.
He was the biggest dude, and he had like a Swiss Army knife. It's like, all right.
Yeah, and there's other things that are very unlikely to happen, but happen just because it's a satirical horror movie. Like when the college kids eventually call the sheriff. Instead of trying to get anything done by themselves. I mean, because at one point they see Allie and Dale outside. Dale is like digging a hole for the latrine of the shitter, and Allie wants to help because she grew up on a farm, she says.
Yeah.
But the college kids see this and think they're making her dig their own grave.
Yeah.
But they do get the sheriff involved, and the sheriff comes in, and a series of crazy events happened, and like this sheriff leans on a column in the cabin, and immediately a board comes down, a plank comes down with nails in it, and just impales him in the head. And the kids are in the sheriff's car, and they see him stumble out of the cabin, with bleeding from the head and everything, and it's just a mess. It just gets more and more of a communication problem. Even when like the college kids come to the cabin, they see that Allie is not in any danger. She's just hanging out there while Tucker and Dale are trying to go find the college kids to like bring them, to Allie. They're trying to help Allie escape, and she's like, I don't need to escape. They're fine. I mean, I'm not in any danger. Even then, Chad, because of his weird obsession with hillbillies and murder and stuff, he is convinced that something must be going on. She's got Stockholm syndrome or something.
Yeah.
And the cabin catches on fire. He inadvertently like catches one of the other college kids on fire. I mean, it's a mess.
Yeah, it's a wonderful dominoes just series of events that are so perfect in how the movie lays them out from when the guy, I forget the character's name, with the Swiss Army knife, goes to try to tackle Tucker, and runs into head first into the wood chipper. That it's like a perfect thing, because Tucker's first reaction is to grab his feet and go, oh my God. And then it's like, once that happens, everyone else just like they like scurry like a swarm of rats, and they just go like every which way. One guy goes to try to go get Tucker, and he gets Dale, but he I think Dale notices him, or Dale somehow knocks out Allie, and she falls into the
he's holding the shovel on his shoulder, and he turns when the one guy is like coming to run at them, and he jumps in the hole and gets impaled on a stick or something. He had turned to look at this guy running at him, and he hits Allie in the head again, and she gets knocked out again.
And as that happens, I think he gets knocked off of balance. Oh, no. One of the kids, or college kids, has like a sharpened stick, and he tries to throw it at him. I thought. That's right. Yeah.
And it lands in the hole.
Yeah, it lands in the hole.
Dale lands in the hole beside it, and it's like sticking up. And this college kid lands on the pole, and he's like slowly being impaled. He's being impaled by it, but he's slowly sinking
like
down,
sliding down.
Level. And Dale's just screaming because he's terrified.
Yeah, he's like, this college kid's dying and bleeding on top of me.
Dale and Tucker are convinced that the college kids have some sort of suicide pact or something.
Yeah, where it's like they're all trying to kill themselves. Yeah,
all over his property. Oh man! And the wood chipper scene. I remember when Tucker's got the legs of the guy after he jumps in, and he like finally turns off the wood chipper, and the guy, all that's left of him is like a waist and legs. And Tucker says, "Are you okay?"
Because it's like there's a chance.
I just thought that was so funny.
Well, I mean, there's a chance.
Yeah.
It's later on when he's like dragging him, is like, you're pretty heavy for half a body. It's just like one of those weird, like, what? Oh, I guess they are.
Yeah. I don't think we need to go all the way to the end, so that if anybody hasn't seen it and they want to watch it, doesn't spoil the movie for them. But there's a lot of great stuff in the movie, and it's worth a watch, and it's worth several rewatches.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. Definitely check it out. It's on pretty much all of the standard streaming services out there.
Yeah, let's see. There's Crackle, Hulu,
11 more. Yeah.
Magnolia, Select, Peacock, Plex, Pluto. It's probably with commercial interruptions on Pluto.
Yeah.
Prime, Roku channel, TV, it's everywhere.
Yeah, it's everywhere. Definitely give it a watch if you guys like horror movies, and if you guys love comedies, you'll love this. If you like Alan Paddock, definitely watch it for him because it's worth it 100%. I give this one 10 out of 10.
Yeah, I'd agree with you. It's it's watchable, rewatchable, and you don't have to. I mean, it's an easy watch.
Yeah,
it's really great.
Yeah, it's easy. It's fun. It is as advertised because it's a satirical horror film. So it did a good job. Yeah. I liked it.
Indeed.
All right, guys. Well, definitely check us out. We will be posting in the comments what the next movie will be. So be sure to check that out. So until next time, guys, I am Happy.
I'm Taylor.
All right, guys. Later.